So next up here, we do have a very, very interesting game that PlayFusion is actually working on. It is called Ascendant Infinity. We have a trailer here. We're going to check this trailer out. Then we're going to check the article out, and then we're going to talk about it.
That might be my favorite game trailer of all time.
I know, right?
That's why, legitimately.
That's
holy
why
crap.
That's why I was like, we have to watch this. Because when I first watched it, I was like, holy God. So, in a groundbreaking move that promises to redefine the gaming landscape, PlayFusion, the visionary Cambridge-based entertainment studio, has revealed the world's inaugural adaptation shooter, Ascendant Infinity. Crafted by industrial veterans and former RuneScape developers, Ascendant Infinity thrusts players into a retro sci-fi arena tinged with an irreverent 80s vibe, delivering a squad-based tactical 3v3v3v3 PvP, promising a hilarious shooter experience like never before. Ascendant Infinity immerses players in competitive matches on dynamically changing maps where unpredictability is the only constant. As 4 teams of 3 engage in a high-stakes race to extract precious resources, the game introduces a level of tactical chaos that demands adaptability. Bullet-strewn firefights and mutated wildlife intensify the challenge, prompting players to strategize, whether through setting up ambushes, charging headlong into battle, or employing strategic tools like airstrikes and toxic gases. Dynamic battles. Engage in intense 3v3v3v3 battles where squads compete dynamically for resources, emphasizing the importance of speed, strategy, and teamwork. In a game as fast-paced as this promises to be, get ready to jump into a voice call with some friends and give yourself a combat and strategy edge. The game's ever-shifting environment, evolving enemy tactics, and player-triggered events ensure that no two battles are alike, providing an exhilarating and unpredictable experience. It's no secret that gamers love their fashion items. Ascendant Infinity places player choice at the forefront, offering a plethora of customization options. Players can tailor-make their outfits to suit their preferences and get some awesome, colorful retro looks that they can bring with them into combat or persistent lobbies. Say goodbye to tedious waiting times with Ascendant Infinity's persistent social lobby. This means, unlike other shooters out there, you will be able to socialize and make friends easily with the gamers you come into contact with. And that's not all. You can also engage in various other activities, from leaderboard challenges to jumping into a team fight together before diving into the heart of battle. Unfortunately, at the time of writing this article, there was no set release date. However, eager players can wishlist Ascendant Infinity on Steam and the Epic Store. For exclusive benefits and closed beta access, enthusiasts can sign up on the official game website. The cinematic trailer provides a glimpse into the thrilling world of Ascendant Infinity. So, we watched the trailer. We we read the article.
Downside.
The downside.
3v3v3
v3.
Yeah.
So this to me sounds like, and I don't know if anybody out there, I'm sure that they have. This sounds like a 80s inspired PvPvE-esque The Finals. Because I mean, in the finals, you're fighting over money. In this, you're fighting over resources. So there's, inner MacGuffin, that we're fighting over here. You've got teams of 3 with these crazy costumes, things like that they're able to wear with ever-changing environments. The environments in the finals are completely destructible and can actually change how the flow of the match and how the flow of the game goes. So it sounds very The Finals-esque in a big way. It sucks that it's 3v3.
Huge.
Yeah, you should do 3 teams of 4.
Yeah.
That's what you're going for.
Right. And we also don't know how, because the finals, we tested the finals out. We played around with it a little bit and everything. So you have the medium class, the heavy class, and the light class, and they have access to certain weapons and certain gadgets. So we don't know if this Ascendant Infinity is going to have more hero shooter elements to where your characters are going to have specific abilities that they're going to have access to, or they're going to have access to specific pieces of utility, where introducing another player onto one team could create this like unbalanced variable into the game overall. But based off of the trailer and the aesthetic alone, I love the idea of having persistent rolling lobbies where as soon as the match is over, you're basically put in a waiting area for the next match to start. And the people that dip out are the people that get backfilled into the next game so that you're able to get into games a lot faster. You're also don't have to go through all of that. Let's queue into a match. Let's sit in the queue for a long time. You're going to be put inside of a hub that you're going to be able to walk around in, customize your character, do, change your loadouts or whatever, interact with people inside the lobby. So if people were in there teabagging you and they're in the persistent lobby, hub thing, you can get on there and I'm sure talk as much shit as you absolutely want to,
Yeah.
So based off of this info and the trailer, Garbo, how are you feeling about Ascendant Infinity?
Yeah, I'll probably give it a shot. I'll probably play it, but I done brought up one of the biggest issues.
Yeah, I mean, I like I said, 3v3v3v3, like maybe that is the perfect way to balance teams. Maybe that is the perfect way.
Seems to be.
Yeah, right. But with the persistent lobby thing, at least one thing is easily doable. This is something that is absolutely doable. There's 4 of us that generally play together. If it's 4 teams of 3, we can basically queue snipe each other. 2 people on one team, 2 people on the other team. And once we get into a game to where it's all of us inside of that lobby, then we can at least play with and against each other. At least there's that. Because you used to be able to do that back in the day with COD. So at least there's some green grass there. It does suck that like you want to play with your friends, but you're having to play against half of them, but there is a silver lining there. And who knows, maybe this is like a final situation where in the future they'll actually introduce a 4v4v4 mode and then, make tweaks and changes and balances based off of that.
I also really like the rollback lobby thing because that's like Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3 days.
Yeah, right.
And I just like that.
A lot of games
need to bring that back.
Yeah, a lot of games got away. Yeah. And it doesn't make sense. Like if you're wanting to leave that lobby and go queue something else, like a different game mode or something, then sure, it makes sense. Leave it, re-queue and everything. But like at the end of the day, if we're hopping into a game, let's say we're playing Rogue and we just want to play demo, we're going to queue for demo every time it's over. Just leave us in queue.
Mm-hmm.
Find the 1 or 2 people that drop out and backfill those people between matches and like, let's keep it rolling here. There's no reason to have these lobbies just shut down as soon as it's over. Doesn't make sense. So with the success of the finals, and we have seen some decline of the finals success. I've been observing that over on Twitch. The viewership numbers have dropped dramatically on the finals. So it's gone from being one of the most watched things on Twitch to averaging about 2,000 to 3,000 concurrent viewers on there. But with that early onboard success that the finals had, Corey, do you think that this game will find firm footing whenever it gets released?
It's really going to depend on the gameplay. It looks good. The aesthetic looks great and everything, but like, I don't know, man. It seems like a lot of these types of games are just come and go these days.
Yeah.
Well, I like the idea of it like being a different every time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like maybe the maps are always different. Yeah, I like that. It may be always evolving. Like that'd be cool.
It looks fine, but the most appealing thing to me is the aesthetic itself. It seems funny, and an 80s aesthetic is always funny.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually watching gameplay from 3 months ago.
Yeah.
It's like Apex.
Oh, really?
But you don't have powers. They're not, each character's not like, this person can do this. They're all soldiers.
Right.
You get weapons. You
So
heal
just
yourself the
skins.
same way like you do in Apex. You stab your thing. You shoot the little gun, and you looks like they got shields. You're fighting over resources. You're fighting other people, and there's like creatures
Right.
that look like
Which-
fucking dragons and shit that just show up.
There's PvE and Apex as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone even commented and was like, "It's the cycle with Apex."
Okay.
I
Okay.
didn't play the cycle, but
I like Apex a lot. Maybe I'd like to play this, but the 3-person team thing really throws me off a lot. I don't like that.
Yeah.
it must just run better.
I
think that's why they do it, man.
Yeah. Yeah. But speaking of the aesthetic of the game, with it being like set in this like retro 80s like kind of vibe,
Yeah, I love that.
like I love and appreciate that, but Dirt, do you think that's going to grab the attention of the younger player base the same way it's going to grab our attention? I mean, whenever
It's got mine.
Yeah, right.
Like some people will probably see that trailer and not even get that. Well, it says it in the title, so.
Yeah.
But, they don't.
Well, it's like whenever Stranger Things came out, like, don't get me wrong, there are definitely people, like younger kids, that got into Stranger Things, but they didn't get into Stranger Things because of like it basically being like the Goonies mixed with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was for us. That was for the old timers.
Absolutely.
So like I love and appreciate what they're doing, but could that be considered a detriment to the game overall?
Well, they're just targeting people who have money.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's true. I mean, and who knows? They could partner with like Atari, or Coleco, any of those in television. Like they could partner with any of those like old school, like early Nintendo stuff. And like you could have an Atari logo shirt, or whatever, or have like Terminate, like movies in the 80s themed clothing. Like that's cool. I like that. I think a lot of young kids are going to see this and be like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. What's a puffer vest?
That's the thing. You're not even trying to appeal to Gen Z anymore. You're trying to appeal to Generation Alpha, which is like the young kids.
Yeah.
10 and under. That's who's, stealing their mom's credit cards to pay for V-Bucks. That's who you want playing your game.
Yeah. And it feels almost like, are they going to have a crisis of identity at that point? Because like,
I fucking hope not.
Well, your older gamers, for the most part, are not like, they may not be along for the ride of this like intense, crazy battle feel. They may be wanting something a little bit more straightforward and a little bit more laid back, like Quake, Unreal Tournament, Halo, things like that. Whereas your younger generation that's naturally going to gravitate towards this may be turned off from the aesthetic and the way. Yeah. So they may have a crisis right out of the gate. Hopefully that they won't, but it's not out of the realm of possibility though.
Absolutely not.
Very fast pace.
And see, that's
the guy's description was like, I spent more time setting the game up than I did in game. Like,
wow.
Just dying fast.
That was one of my issues with the finals too, is I felt like there was just a lot happening.
Woo.
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't mind that. Like, say we're in a battle royal and we hit like a good fight. There is a lot happening in that fight, but then it's over.
Yeah, you get a little rest time.
Yeah, I can't do fucking 15 minutes straight of we got to move here, we got to go there. Oh my God, what's going on?
Yeah.
We got those guys. Here comes the third party.
Yeah.
Those aren't games for me. I like competitive games, but I don't like them to be fucking wild.
Yeah, right. So I'm interested to see like how this plays out overall, but like I think that they've got a good thing going here. Hopefully this isn't another, one and done, dies in the dirt type of situation here. Like we've seen a lot of games over the past couple of years that just came and went like as quickly as the door opened, it closed right behind them. They couldn't find their footing, or when they were trying to find their footing, then something tripped them up, whether it be hackers. Slipped. Yeah. Just or just changing the game in a way that wasn't necessary. there's a couple of different things. So hopefully they will find their footing. But based off of this trailer and this description and everything else, I definitely want to give it a go.
Yeah.
It's just a bummer that it's teams of 3, man.
Yeah.
I get what you're doing here, but man, like this could have been real cool and real fun, but like it sucks that it's teams of 3.
In my opinion, I think you could have 3 teams of 4, which is still 12 people in a match, and you still have some pretty chaotic gameplay when you're having to worry about 2 teams as opposed to just one other team.
Yeah, right.
Here's another problem. It's looking like this is going to be a PC launch only. And that's I mean,
that's going to hamper it a lot, man.
Yeah, it's on
we're
Windows,
in an age where if you're not releasing on it, if you're not releasing on everything, you're just not going to do well.
That's almost the nail in the coffin right there.
Yeah, the only way that you're going to survive doing just like one thing like that is if you're like Spider-Man, which is PlayStation only.
Yeah,
but that's because it's Spider-Man, or if you're a game like Tarkov, and that's because there's no other game like Tarkov.
Yeah,
but eventually Spider-Man did roll over.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
you just had to wait a certain amount of time.
Yeah, but
they want their nut too.
Yeah, but we've seen this time after time. Like, look at Veld Experts. Didn't release on consoles, died. They shut it down.
So quick.
The Vampire the Masquerade BR, third-person BR that released. They released it on only PlayStation and only PC with no legitimate crossplay. And it went from being one of the most hyped BRs in a long time to dying outright very quickly.
We tried it, and when we realized we couldn't play together, we were like, fuck this.
Yeah, uninstalled it,
Yep, immediately.
Yeah, so it's just, they need to pivot. They need to pivot. There's no reason why modern day consoles can't run this game.
Well, they can.
Yeah. And they're
affordable.
Yes, exactly.
We need to see I know this is kind of off topic, but I'd like to see a Tarkov fucking console release.
Yeah. But we'll see what what Ascendant Infinity has to offer us in the future. Hopefully, based on the success of the trailer and word of mouth and everything, this will inspire them to actually release the game on console. The trailer's only got 41,000 views. It's been up for 11 days as of recording this, and that doesn't bode very well. I would say for this to be something that's going to be successful, it needs to have at least 100,000 views. If you have a player interest of 50%, then you at least you have somewhat, and then you're going to cut that active player base down by a fourth by only releasing it on PC. So I don't know. It might be dead on arrival, unfortunately. We'll see. I hope not, but we will see.
That trailer was fun, dude.
Yeah. If they're going to embrace the 80s thing, I want them to fully embrace it. Like I want a Rubik's cube grenade that like opens a black hole or some shit. I want like a Simon Says thing or, a Bop It, like.
I want a wax on, wax off emote.
Yes, exactly. Right. So I want a Terminator jacket. At least give me the leather jacket.